शिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
Om Sahanavavatu
भवतु
Sahanavavatu
सहनौ वीर्यं
Tejasvinavadhinamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
So before we start, a small announcement. You must have seen that Meda has put notification regarding some various Vedantic retreats that we are conducting in the ashram. So anybody who has the time and the inclination, I would strongly recommend it. It will, of course, be a very beneficial experience in terms of the environment, in terms of the discipline, and in terms of the teaching. So if at all you can make it, please do try to make it.
Sir, we've registered for it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm
Even
sure
I
you really
have.
enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Even I have. I think you may have got a call yesterday from Arunji.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, there was a bit.
All right. So now we go back to Mundaka Upanishad, and we have finished the introductory portion. So today we'll start with the chant of the Shanti Patha. So I will chant and you can repeat. Om Bhadram Karane Bhishrunayama Devaha.
Om Yamadeva.
Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhiryajatra.
Bhadram Pashyema
Sthirairangais Tushtvagam Sastunubhihi. Vyashema Deva Hetanyadayuhu. Swastina Indro Vridhashravaha.
Swastina Indro Vridhashravaha.
Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha.
Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha.
Swastinastakshyo Arishthanemihi.
Swastinastakshyo Arishthanemihi.
Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu.
Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay. So, as usual, we start any study with a prayer to the Lord. And this is the Shanti Patha of the Upanishad. And which Veda does this Upanishad belong to?
Atharvana Veda.
Atharvana Veda, also called Atharva Veda. So you'll find that any Upanishad appearing in the Atharva Veda will have the same prayer. This particular prayer. So it's a prayer to the Lord. For what purpose? That the Lord may bless us with success in this particular activity for us of studying the Mundaka Upanishad. And it is not the Lord's grace alone, because any success we know has to have two components, Purusha Prayatna and Ishvara Kripa. So our own effort plus the grace of the Lord, both are necessary to get success. So you might ask, what about the grace of the Lord? Is it available to everybody, or is it available to some people? And if so, why so? So we say that you take the grace of the Lord as solar energy. Solar energy is an example for the grace of the Lord. The sunlight is available to everybody, but if you want to convert it into electricity, you need to do your own effort and put in a solar energy panel. So unless you put in your own effort, that grace which is uniformly available will not be implemented for you. And therefore, when we pray and while chanting this mantra, we are asking for two things: all-round fitness to receive this teaching. So sthirayanga is that my limbs be steady. All-round fitness to receive the teaching. Why? Because of course here it's all on Zoom, and normally when you go to class, you'll be going to a particular place. Your physical fitness should be there to travel to that class and to sit there for hours on end to receive the teaching. All this should be there. In the case of Zoom class, you should have the physical fitness to get out of bed and travel to the room where the computer is and then sit there for at least an hour to receive the teaching. So physical fitness should be there. Mental fitness should be there so that the mind is focused. It's undisturbed during the class. Otherwise, the teaching will not sink in. So that's two things: physical, mental. Then, even if the concentration is there, the intellectual ability to understand the logical arguments should be there. Your mind should be sharp enough to follow the logic of the arguments. And of course, primarily, when you are here, you must also be able to hear. So sensory fitness, all sense organs must be fit enough, right? And if they are not fit enough, when I say immortal, you might be hearing immoral, So hence your ears should be fit enough. They should receive exactly what is told. Okay. when I undertake any activity, not necessarily study, when I undertake any activity, many obstacles can come. Obstacles usually arise from where? From the prarabdha karma, from your own purva janma papa. And these obstacles are called pratibandha. Obstacles is pratibandha in Sanskrit. And three types of pratibandha are there, called trivida pratibandha. Three types of obstacles. So one is adhyatma or adhyatmika pratibandha, obstacles coming from your own self. One is adhibhautika pratibandha, obstacles due to others. And one is adhi daivika pratibandha, obstacles born from natural forces. So it's called daivika because natural forces are not under our control. They are said to be under control of the devas, nature. And therefore, forces like rains, floods, earthquakes, these are all called adhidaivika pratibandha. Any of this can become an obstacle for your study on any particular day or on all days. And since we do not know our prarabdha karma, we will not be able to foresee the obstacles or even know them. Foreseeing is, at least I should know when they will come. But I would not even be able to know which are the obstacles. But Ishvara knows because he is Sarvagnya, he is all-knowing. And therefore, in this prayer, I can appeal to the Lord. Do I tell him that let me not have obstacles at all? I don't tell that. Why? Because can I pray to the Lord and say, let there be no obstacles at all for me?
No.
Just a yes, no answer won't do. You need to tell me why.
Our prarabdha will give us both good, not so good, favorable.
Your prarabdha, you have to experience. Correct. And therefore, you cannot tell the Lord, don't give me any obstacles at all, because then you're telling him, negate my prarabdha. Right? So the appeal actually to the Lord, the prayer is not that please don't get any obstacles at all. It is that during the period of my study, let me not have any obstacles. If at all my prarabdha dictates that some obstacle has to be there, some fever should come, some mental disturbance should come, oh Lord, please change the timing, advance it or postpone it. So the obstacle can come. but not during my study time. Not during the time of my class. Let me be able to do the class properly. And this is the essence. This much is the essence of any Shanti Patha in any Upanishad. Okay, now look at here, these particular words. So it says, E Devaha. Where is that? In the first line, Devaha. O gods, Srunuyama, may we hear what Karnevihi Bhadram. So Karnevihi is through my ears. Bhadram is auspicious. May we hear only auspicious things with our ears. That is the first one. Let me hear nothing inauspicious. Then Bhadram Pashyama, that word has to be broken correctly. Bhadram Pashyama Akshabhihi Yajatraha. So Yajatraha means the one to whom yajnas are done, which is what Deva only. So Yajatraha is a word for Deva. O Deva, let us Bhadram, auspicious things, Pashyama, see, Akshabhihi, with my eyes. The first one was, let me hear only auspicious things with my ears. And the second one is, let me see only auspicious things with my eyes. Right? And therefore, you can take it in the context of the study as, let me be able to read the text properly, because through this text, I am seeing the only auspicious thing in the universe, which is Brahman. So in short, the first two lines of the Shanti Patha, they will mean, let the eyes and the ears, let my eyes and my ears cooperate with me in this activity of mind to study the Upanishad and to get the correct meaning. Then, then you have to break up the third line also very carefully. Sthiraihi, so you put a visarga over there. Sthiraihi, angaihi, tushtuvagam, tushtuvagam saha. Okay, so tushtuvagam is may I do this stuti, may I do this glorification regularly. Tushtuvagam. May I do this totram regularly. May I glorify the Lord regularly. For what purpose? So that I can gather punyam. Okay. So Tushtavagam is basically glorifying you. How? Tanubihi. Tanubihi means through the Vedic teaching. Tanubihi here refers to Vedic suktams, all the Vedic chants which are glorifying the Lord. That is called a suktam. So let me glorify you through these Vedic chants. And for this, Thiraihi Angaihi. Thiram means steady, in this context, healthy. Angam is limbs. So Sthiraihi Angaihi. Let me have healthy, strong limbs. Okay, so these are the words which are very carefully to be seen. Tushtuvagam, may I do this glorification regularly using the Vedic chants. And to be able to do this, I have to be able to sit for hours together to chant. And therefore, sthiraihi angaihi, I need steady, strong limbs, healthy limbs. And then, deva hitam yadayuhu vyashemaha. Let me live. Vyashema means may I enjoy. Okay. Ayuhu. Yat ayuhu. That age. Or that ayuhu here means the full life. Or the entire time allocated to your life is called ayuhu. So, Sthirayangaihi, with healthy limbs. Vyashema ayuhu. May I enjoy my full life. Which is what? Yad deva hitam. Which has been allocated by you, O Lord. Deva hitam. Deva has considered hitam. That is good for me. Therefore, the whole complex word means, may I have healthy, strong limbs to be able to glorify the Lord regularly and using the Vedic chants. And for this purpose, let me live the full life allocated by the Lord without any accidental deaths. Why? Because Vedantic study requires a complete life. One full lifetime is necessary for full Vedantic study. Shravanam and Mananam can be completed in a few years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. But the third portion, Nididhyasanam, the assimilation, will take a long time. And therefore, let me live a full life because I don't want to be born again. And then, Swastihi, Swastina Indro Vriddha Shravaha. So, Vriddha here means famed. Vriddha Shravaha. May Indra of great fame, Vriddha Shravaha is very famous. And may Indra of great fame, Swastihi, may he bless me with auspiciousness. Swastina Indra Vriddha Shravaha, may he bless me with auspiciousness. So then the next one is Pusha. May the Pusha Devata. Pusha Devata is Surya Devata. So may he cooperate with me. And Surya is what? Vishwavedaha, the all-knower. So the word Pusha literally means the one who does Poshana. Poshana means nourishing. So Poshana Karta iti Pushaha. The one who nourishes with what? He nourishes the food and the food nourishes me. Therefore the Surya Devata, may he also bless me. And Swasti Arishthanemehi Nastaraksho. So Vishwadeva Pusha is the omniscient sun. Naha. So that na you have to be careful about. Naha is not na. There is a na with a visarga, which is naha. There is a difference between na and naha. Na means no. Naha means for me. So naha swastihi. May he bless me with auspiciousness. Taksha. So the Taksha is another name for Garuda. The bird Garuda was Rama's consort, the Garuda. Garuda is what? A person who has Arishthanemihi. He used to fly everywhere. His journey was not unobstructed. And therefore, Garuda's blessings are sought for that purpose. So, Garuda Nahaswastihi. Garuda who used to fly in an unobstructed line, whose journey could not be obstructed by anybody. May that Garuda bless me with that quality of being unobstructed in my spiritual journey. So Nahaswastihi, blessed with auspiciousness. And Brahaspati literally is the guru of the lords. So may Brahaspati, the word means of great intelligence. So may Brahaspati, that guru who has great intelligence, Nahaswastihi, may he bless me with auspiciousness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, three Shantis are there. We talked about the three Pratibandhas. And when you actually chant, the first Shanti is a bit loud. The second Shanti is of slightly lesser volume. And the third Shanti is of the least volume. And the tradition says that since you look at the three pratibandhas, the three obstacles as the reason for chanting these three shantis, the first obstacle is Adi Daivikaha, so caused by the lords, and therefore devas are in heaven, they are far away, so we chant it loudly so that they can hear. The second shanti is to address Adi Bhautikas, people around you, and that you don't need to chant so loudly because they are there all around you. So second shanti is slightly lower. And the third shanti is for the Adi Adhyatmam, which is the obstacles inside you. Therefore, you don't need to chant it loudly at all. Even a whisper will do. Therefore, the Shanti Trayam is for removing the Pratibandha Trayam. This is the reason why the Shanti Mantra is chanted. Okay. Any questions on this?
Om Acharya, the term auspiciousness,
Yes.
exactly what all does it encompass? Only Brahman or anything worldly? Non-worldly?
Auspiciousness in its, if you look at it in the Vedantic term, there's only one auspicious thing in the world, that is Brahman. But if you look at it from a Laukika angle, then everything that is conducive to your study is auspicious.
Thank you.
Om Raviji,
Yes,
I think I missed the last word, dadatu.
Dadatu also basically means bless me. So Vruddhash dadatu na swastihi, may he bless me with happiness.
Swasti, swasti means
Swasti is auspiciousness. Dadatu means to give.
okay.
So in this case, bless me with happiness, give me happiness or give me auspiciousness.
Okay.
Om Raviji, Bhadram also means auspicious.
Bhadram also means auspiciousness. So everything, that the whole thing, that whole thing is talking about auspiciousness. One auspiciousness you can take as the very Nirguna Brahma. The other auspiciousness you can take from the Dharmic angle. Whatever I do, it should be in such a way that nothing obstructs my study. May only auspicious things happen to me. That is why he says, may I hear auspicious things, may I see auspicious things. May the words falling on my ears relate to Brahman. May the text which I read relate to Brahman, which is auspiciousness alone. Okay. If you're okay with this, we can proceed to the actual Upanishad. So the first one is Prathama Mundake Prathama Khandaha. What is Mundaka over here?
The first part.
Khanda is section, Mundaka is chapter. So in the Mundaka Upanishad, remember in the Mundaka Upanishad word, that is the name of the Upanishad, in the naming of the chapters, each Mundaka is a chapter. So in fact, you will find that in Upanishad, chapters are given different names. So here a chapter is called Mundaka, you will find chapter called Adhyaya, and so on and so forth. Sections here is called Khanda. In some other Upanishads, you find them called Brahmana. So depending on the Upanishad, you have to understand the meaning carefully. So this is Prathama Mundake, Prathama Khandaha, the first chapter, the first section, chapter 1, section 1. Prathama Mundake, Prathama Khandaha, mantra number 1. So Prathama Mundake, Prathama Khandaha, Prathama mantra. That is the first. That is why the heading is given as 1, 1, 1. If you look at your texts, you will find 1, 1, 1. That is first chapter, first section, first mantra. So let's chant. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva.
Om
Brahma
Devanam
Prathamasambhavuva
Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta.
Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta
Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham.
Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham
Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha.
Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha.
Just let me mute you all. So first, just look at the word meanings. Brahma Sambhabhuva. Lord Brahmaji was born. Prathamaha, as the first Devanam, among the gods. So this is the Srishti Prakaranam. It is describing how Srishti was, the whole universe was created, right? So first Lord Brahmaji was born, who was the first among the gods. And who is he? Vishwasya Karta. He is the creator of the universe. And Bhuvanasya Gopta. Vishwam is also universe. Bhuvanam is also universe. Gopta means protector. Therefore, he is the creator of the universe and the protector of the universe. What did he do? Saha. He, that Lord Brahmaji, Praha. What did he do? He told, he imparted Brahma Vidyam. So he gave the sacred knowledge, Atma Vidya, which is what? Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, which is the which is the substratum of all knowledge. So Brahma Vidya is Pratishtha, which is the basis, the substratum, Sarva Vidya, of all other branches of knowledge. And to whom did he give this? Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya. Jeshtaputra means eldest son, whose name is Atharva. So Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. He gave this Atmajnanam to his eldest son. Okay. So as I said, each chapter is called a Mundaka, and there are 3 chapters in this Upanishad. Therefore, this Upanishad has 3 Mundakas. And each chapter has got 2 sections. So each section is called Khandaha, which means totally there are 3 Mundakas with 2 Khandas each, totally 6 Khandas. And across the 6 Khandas, there are 65 mantras. Okay. So first 3 mantras, they speak of they are stuti basically. They speak of the glory of Atmavidya. Why do you glorify something? So that the reader may be interested, and then the student may be interested and come to study. So first, there is always a glorification, which is basically like the trailer in a movie. You show the most interesting parts or something which appeals to the other person, and that will make him come and see the movie. So here also, the first mantras are glorification of Atmavidya. If Atmavidya, which is the main subject of the Upanishad, is glorified, then student will think that I must also know this Atmavidya. Now the teaching is, remember, this is very important for a Vaidika. We say teaching is apaurusheya. Apaurusheya means not from human hands. Therefore, the Veda is called Shruti. If you remember all Tattvabodha and all, Shruti meaning, Shruti is that which is heard. Shruti basically means that which has been heard. And heard by whom? We say is heard by the rishis because they are spiritually highly developed. So Sapta rishis heard. Now in this case, as you can see, who is hearing? It is Atharva who is hearing. Right? So he has heard directly from Lord Brahmaji. So that is why it's called Shruti. And therefore, the origin of this teaching is not from a human brain. It comes from the Lord alone. And that entire 4 Vedas are said to be taught by the Lord. And that is why Lord Brahmaji is supposed to have 4 hands. So when the universe is formed, when he creates the universe, in those 4 hands, he holds 1 Veda each. And that knowledge is imparted to the human being. Right? So this is Shruti. So the teaching comes from Easwara, and therefore Easwara is the Adi Guru. There is no Guru before that. And since Easwara is all-knowing, Sarvagnya, we say this teaching is Nirdushta Pramanam. A teaching without any fault. Nirdushta. How do we know? It stands the test of time. So beginning from Easwara, it came to who? If this teaching is coming from Easwara, who must it first come to?
Atharva.
Brahmaji.
Yes, Lord
Brahmaji.
Brahmaji, right? Don't forget, Easwara is not Brahmaji. The Tattvabodha should be there clear in your mind. In Tattvabodha terms, who is Brahmaji?
Hiranyagarbha.
Hiranyagarbha. Right. Hiranyagarbha is the product. Who is the cause, Karanam?
Antaryami.
Antaryami is the
Antaryami.
Karanam. And therefore, Ishvara here is Antaryami. Antaryami is what? Technically?
OC plus Maya.
Samashti,
Samashti.
Samashti, Karana.
Samashti,
Karana Prapancha.
Karana.
Samashti, Karana, Shariram.
Karana Shari.
Right? Plus what?
Reflected consciousness.
No. Samashti, Karana, Shariram is the Aram. You are forgetting a Tattvabodha.
Yes. And the consciousness.
Antaryami is Samashti, Karana, Shariram plus the OC.
Okay.
Small things, but
Yes.
yes, John?
So when we refer to Ishvara here,
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
referring to Nirguna Brahman.
No.
Because in Tattva terms, Ishvara is the whole causal body, samashti, causal body, samashti, and the samashti, the three bodies samashti together.
See, Tattva is a basic teaching. Okay, as you go along, you will refine. But when you say Ishvara, remember we are talking about Samashti Karma Shariram plus Brahman.
Okay.
Which is Antaryami. Why? Because from Antaryami comes Hiranyagarbha, which is the Samashti Sukshma Shariram.
Okay.
From Samashti Sukshma Shariram comes Virat, which is Samashti Sthula Shariram. So that knowledge you should be clear about. And therefore, yeah, please go on.
Acharya, this is related to a previous one. We said that Brahmaji had all the 4 Vedas,
Yes.
but is it not that it is often heard that there were 3 Vedas and Atharva Veda was later composed by Vyasji?
Not at all. Chaturveda is a very standard phrase in the Shravan. So don't hear all these things and make up your minds. Why they say Atharva Veda later composed is because Atharva Veda is basically ritualistic in nature.
Okay.
And it's not used much in the in general. While chanting is there, in the rituals you will find that one of the Vedas is not being used much. That is Atharva Veda.
Thank you.
But there is no such thing. All the Vedas are very much Apaurusha Grantaha, coming from the Lord. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Please don't, whatever knowledge you are getting about Shastram, please take it from the classes. Facebook, WhatsApp, Google. No, please erase that from my memory. Because people tend to tell what they think is right. While we tell you what the Shastram says.
Yes,
anything which is not backed by Shastram, we should smile and drop it from our memories.
Thank you.
Okay, so beginning from Ishvara, the knowledge came to Brahmaji and then to the Rishis. From the Rishis to other gurus, from other gurus to Shankaracharya. From Shankaracharya came to Asmadacharya, my guru, and from my guru it came to me. This is the parampara. So Brahma, Devanam, Prathamaha, Sambhabhova. Devanam, among the Devas, Devanam is among the Devas, Brahma, Prathama Sambhabhava. Brahma was the first born. And therefore, Brahma was the first disciple of Ishvara. Therefore, he is the one who initiated the Sampradaya. So, Sampradaya Kritu, it is called. The one who started the Sampradaya was Lord Brahmaji. And therefore, we worship him, that Brahmaji, who had 4 heads, representing the 4 Vedas. What is he? Vishwasya Karta. He is the creator of the entire Vishwa. And Vishwam is what? Why is it called Vishwa? Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam Vishwam. Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam means that which appears in different forms. That is Vishwam. What is Vishwam? The Vishwam is recognized by us only as various objects. There is no Vishwam separate from the products. When you put all the products together, that is called Vishwam. So Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam Vishwam. So he is the creator of that Vishwam. And as the creator, he is Lord Brahmaji. But here he says Bhuvanasya Gopta. Bhuvanam again means the universe only. Gopta means the protector. So here he is being referred to as Lord Vishnu also. Very interesting. Lord Brahmaji is not different from Lord Vishnu because Vishwasya Karta and Bhuvanasya Gopta. And Shankaracharya in his commentary writes that Gopta means Palayita, which is the word which you know. Palayata means Palan Karne Wala, the one who protects, maintainer, protector, sustainer. So that is Vishwasya Gopta or Bhuvanasya Gopta. He is Lord Brahmaji. So remember here, Brahma, it's long A. Okay, Brahma. It's not Brahma. What is the difference between Brahma and Brahma? Brahma with a short A is Nirguna Brahman. Brahma with a long is masculine, Pullinga, and refers to Chaturmukha Brahmaji. And Brahma comes from a Sanskrit root. All the roots are called dhatus in Sanskrit grammar. So Brahma is from Brihad dhatu. Brihad means big, infinite. So that is, which is very large. And in the Panini Sutras, this word Brahma is given a particular name. It's called Parivrada. The Parivrada is important here because bigness can be in there are two aspects of being big. Can you guess what is being said? Whenever something is big, there are two aspects.
Physical aspect and
Size.
Sorry?
One is size.
Okay, yes, one is size.
The other is what we imagine or what we.
No, let me try to give you a sense of it. When I say a big mountain and a big cat, I'm using the same word, big.
Is it in
Relative.
the sense of relative and absolute?
Relative.
Sense of relativity, right? So a qualitativity you might call. So and therefore, this bigness has to be in terms of two sides, and Panini says it's in qualitative bigness, right? So a big mountain does not carry the same sense as a big cat. And here, when you say bigness, that qualitativeness also has to be understood. And therefore, and he is superior. Therefore, Shankara says he is superior to all living beings. So, Anyan Sarva, everything which is in this universe, he is superior to. He is bigger than, and therefore he is called Brahma. Therefore, it's the etymological meaning, Brahma. So, Chaturmukha Brahman, we are talking about here, don't forget, we are not talking about Brahma. Chaturmukha Brahman is unsurpassed. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. You said two types of this big, that is Parivada Shabda. What does it say?
One is Parivada means the qualitative aspect.
Okay.
And Brahma by itself can mean the size aspect also. So there are two aspects, size and qualitative. The quantity and the quality. That is what is being talked about. Parivrada talks about quality.
Okay, so both types of big?
Both types of big are applicable to Brahma. Right?
Okay.
When you say Brahma, you must take it as absolute bigness. When you say Brahma, Brahma is finite or infinite? Lord Brahmaji is finite. Why is he finite?
Hello, Ravi ji, the
Yeah.
only infinite is the OC.
Only infinite is OC. So Brahma is infinite in both qualitative and quantitative. Brahmaji was born, and therefore, will he die?
yes,
So somebody who is born and dies, is he infinite in size or in quality or in what?
is finite.
Definitely fine.
And therefore, this, when he says Brahma is infinite, Brahma, Lord Brahmaji is infinite, it has to be understood in relative terms. That is why Parivrada. The qualitative word has to be understood as relatively big. In relation to what? Sarvan Anyan. All other things in the universe. So this is the basic etymological meaning. Meda, you got that?
The word Parivada means exactly what? I got confused now.
It means qualitatively or relatively.
Uh,
And therefore, Brahma, when you say Lord Brahmaji, you are using the word big or infinite in qualitative terms, in relative terms. Lord Brahmaji is superior to all other living beings because everything is born from him, because he is the creator. It is in that term, in that meaning, that Lord Brahmaji is infinite or
so
superior.
it is Parivada Brahma means relatively big.
Parivrada Mahan. Relatively big. Qualitative bigness or relative bigness, not in size. We say in size, basically, even the word size is not correct for Brahma. Nirguna Brahma is all there is. But if you have to use the term absolute bigness, that can be only Nirguna Brahma. For which there is no comparison.
Yes,
Okay.
now I got it.
All right. So Chaturmukha Brahma is infinite or unsurpassed is a better term in terms of qualities. Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya, Aishwarya. Where did we see all this? In the
Bhagavan.
Bhagavan. Okay, so all those you have to remember whenever you talk about this. And it is this such a great Brahmaji who is giving us this knowledge, and therefore it is a very sacred knowledge. Then you look at the term Sambhabhuva. Okay. Now, Babhuva means to emerge or can be taken as being born. So, Brahma was born. Then why does the Upanishad say Brahma Sambhabhuva? The Sa prefix is taken as Swatantriyena, independently, not by Paratantra. So, independent birth is what? Unconditioned by karma. So when Lord Brahmaji was created by Ishvara, Brahmaji was born, this we have to remember that he was born for fulfilling a particular purpose, which is Vishwasya Karta and Srishti Karta. He was born for that purpose, and therefore Sambhabhuva means born, but not because of Prarabdha Karma. Unconditioned by karma is the meaning of the word Sambhabhuva. Okay. Okay, now in the next few mantras, 3 topics are being presented. Guru, Shastram, and Shishya. The teacher, the scripture, and the student. So there is a story, it's in the form of a story. Right? We don't need to focus on the story too much. And therefore, what is relevant is that the 3 topics which are being presented are Guru, Shastram, and Shishya. And in this mantras, you will find that 7 members of the teaching parampara are mentioned. The first one is obviously Bhagavan or Ishvara, who is the Adi Guru. Right? The second, even though not mentioned, but it is there, implicit. Second one is Chaturmukha Brahma, Lord Brahmaji. Third one is Brahmaji's eldest son Atharva, who is a student. The fourth one is another student of Atharva, is called Angiraha. Fifth one is another student, Bharadvajaha. These are all parampara, right? So Brahmaji is the first teacher, Atharva is the student. Atharva is the second teacher, Angira is a student. Angira is the third teacher, Bharadvaja is a student. Then Bharadvaja is the fourth teacher, Angiras is a student. Angiras is the fifth teacher, and Rishi Shaunakaha is the student. So these 7 members of the parampara are being mentioned over here. And this entire Upanishad is in the form of a samavada, a dialogue between who? Between Angiras and Shaunakaha. So that needs to be remembered, right? The dialogue is Angiras Shaunakaha samavada. It is not Brahmaji Atharva samavada. It is not Atharvaha Angira samavada. It is the Angiras Shaunakaha samavada. Okay. Now, Ishvara is not glorified over here because the greatness of Ishvara is taken for granted. He is not. We don't need to talk about it. Brahma is the second guru, born to Ishvara himself. And if you say, how is he born? Then we simply say, Sankalpa Matrena, Manasa Putra. Through his Sankalpa alone, through the mental decision alone, born from the mind, Manasa Putra. And therefore, you will find the representation of this in Puranas as what? As the lotus on Vishnu's navel, and you will find that Brahmaji appears on the lotus. Okay. So that is what is being mentioned over here. And if Brahmaji is appearing on the lotus, what does the lotus signify?
Mother.
Purity.
Go back to the Tattva Bodha, please.
Antaryami.
Antaryam. Okay.
Antaryam.
So please don't, whenever you, that is why we say Tattva Bodha all the time. You have to get your ideas from Tattva Bodha. And therefore, if Brahmaji is appearing from the lotus, obviously lotus is who? Antaryam. So then, what happened afterwards? Bhagavan, that is Ishvara, created Brahmaji, and then Ishvara said, I have done my job. Now the project manager is Brahmaji. So the project of creation was given to Brahmaji, and Ishvara decided to relax. So his only job was creating Brahma. The rest of the job was delegated to Lord Brahmaji. And therefore, then what happened? Brahmaji created the universe. And therefore, he is represented as Sarvajña. The four faces represent the four Vedas. Not only is he the creator, he is also the protector of the universe. And in that role of protector, it is his job to ensure that Atma Vidya continues. And therefore, Brahmaji became Brahma Vidya Guru to Atharvaha, his eldest son. So, teaching is called Brahma Vidya. There are two interpretations. Can you think why there are two interpretations of the term Brahma Vidya?
Because it talks of Brahman.
Yes.
And because it came from Brahmaji.
Very good. So, these are two interpretations. It is called Brahma Vidya because the subject is Nirguna Brahman. Right? That is Brahma Vidya. It also came from Brahma, Lord Brahmaji. So, it is called Brahma Vidya. Both meanings are acceptable. Shankara gives both meanings. So, you can take it as, with whichever meaning you take, depending on the context in which you talk, you have to take the meaning. Then what? Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Foremost among all the branches of the knowledge. Is the pinnacle of knowledge. Brahma Vidya is, there is one peculiarity about Brahma Vidya, you know. When you study astronomy, for example, or you study physics, you can understand it partially. You need not fully appreciate physics. If you study math, you might understand math slightly, partially, without fully appreciating. But Brahma Vidya is a peculiar knowledge. Either you appreciate it in totality, or you don't appreciate it at all. Either Brahma Vidya is understood in totality, or it is not understood at all. So this is the beauty of Brahma Vidya. And he says, that very same Brahma Vidya he taught. So Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. That same Brahma Vidya, which is the foremost among all the branches of knowledge, he taught Atharva. Now, if you look at the word Pratishtha, it has several meanings. What is the most common meaning of Pratishtha? Popular meaning.
Establish.
Fame.
Better word. What is the word Pratishtha usually used? It's called the Rudi Artha, the most popular meaning.
Sthapana.
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 Sthapana of what?
Of an idol in a temple.
Yeah. So in English we call it consecration. Consecration
Yes.
of a deity, right? Sthapanam. That is the most common meaning, right? And that meaning, can you take here? No. So Bhashyakara, that is Shankaracharya, he gives two meanings. The first meaning he says is, this Pratishtha means support, substratum, ashraya. And the second meaning he takes is samaptihi, culmination. Both meanings are very, very important. The first meaning is what? Substratum, which is ashraya, which is support. The second meaning is samaptihi, culmination. Now let's see what it means. Traditionally, we talk about 14 branches of knowledge. Okay, there are 4 Vedas. There are 6 Veda Angas, so that is 10. And there are 4 Shastras. So, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Puranas, and Dharma Shastra. Okay, so 4 Vedas, 6 what they call Veda Angas, and 4 Shastras. Now we'll come across this again in a couple of mantras down the line. This is also mentioned. So the primary Veda, the 4 Vedas, are called the Angi, while the 6 others or the 10 others are called the Angas. In fact, the 6 others are called the Angas. And the other 4, the Mimamsa, Nyaya, Purana, Dharma Shastram, they are called the Upa-Angas. So basically, all technical terms. You can remember them, you need not remember them. In terms of this structure, the Chaturveda are Angi. The Veda Angas, which are 6, are called Angas. And the Shastrams, which are Mimamsa, Nyaya, Purana, Dharma Shastram, they are called Upa-Angas. Therefore, Angi plus Anga plus Upa-Anga gives you 14. And if we have studied all the 14, he is called Sangopanga Veda. Sangopanga Veda, the one who has studied the Anga plus the Upanga and the Veda. Adhyayi is the one who has understood the Veda properly. Why? Because to understand the Angi, the 4 Vedas, a proper knowledge of the 6 Angas and the 4 Upa-Angas are necessary. So those 10 supporting branches he needs to know if he is able to understand the Veda properly. And therefore he is called Sa-Anga, Sa-Upanga, Sangopanga. Now these 10 supporting branches, do they have any independent validity? No. Their very existence is because one wants to study the Veda. Therefore, without the Angi Vidya, the Angi 4 Vedas, the Angas are meaningless. Where am I going with all this? Therefore, the Angi Vidya is the Ashraya for the 10 Angas. Do you get what I'm saying? Because without these 4 Vedas, those 10 supporting Shastrams or 10 supporting activities, texts have no meaning at all. Their very existence is because of the 4 Vedas. And therefore, the Vedas are said to be the substratum, the support for the 10 Angi Vidyas. That is why Shankara says it is the Ashraya. The meaning Pratishtha is the Ashraya. Now, Veda has 2 parts which we all know. This is Karma Kanda and Anta, Veda Anta. So, Karma Vidya and Brahma Vidya are 2 parts. All the other 10 are Angams, and therefore Karma Vidya is a Angam for Brahma Vidya. Why? Because the entire purpose of Karma Vidya or Karma Kanda is to give you Chitta Shuddhi. And therefore the Karma Kanda has a prayojanam, a validation, a purpose, only if you want to go ahead with the study of Brahma Vidya. The study of Karma Kanda is valid only if you have as an objective the study of Jnana Kanda. What is being said that any branch of knowledge in existence is only for supporting Brahma Vidya. And therefore, Brahma Vidya is the Ashraya for all other branches. Therefore, it is called Paravidya, the most supreme Vidya, which is the support for everything else. That is the first meaning. When I said there was a second meaning, Vedanta is studied. For what purpose? For Brahma Vidya. Vedanta is meant for directly for Brahma Vidya. And any other branch of knowledge, if you study, from this we are talking about Karma Kanda. Basically, it should give you some sort of Chitta Shuddhi, right? Some sort of It should take you to Brahma Vidya. Therefore, if you take any branch of knowledge, that branch of knowledge can be called the sadhana, and Brahma Vidya is the sadhyam. Because what is the reason? Once Atma Vidya is gained, all other knowledge becomes irrelevant for that particular jnani. So once this sadhyam is achieved, the sadhana becomes redundant. And therefore, the sadhana culminates in the sadhyam, which is Brahma Vidya. So all knowledge culminates in Brahma Vidya, in Atma Jnanam. And therefore, the meaning of samapti is taken by Shankara. You need not do anything more after Brahma Vidya is attained. We saw this particular meaning in Bhagavad Gita also. Where did we see? Anybody? To be able to meaningfully understand Upanishad, you should have at least a workable knowledge of Tattva-bodha, in fact, a very good knowledge of Tattva-bodha, and a working knowledge of Upanishad, of Bhagavad Gita also. Where did we see that everything culminates in Jnanam alone? Nobody? Okay, I'll leave it for homework. I hope you can, during the course of today, please do your homework and let us see if you come up with it in the group. Okay, so these are the two meanings taken by Shankara. And then what does he say? Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. He taught to his eldest son. And Shankara says Praha has to be taken in a very specific meaning. Praha means spoke or taught. But here Shankara says when a teacher teaches, it is the teacher's responsibility to teach until the student understands. And if this has not been done, then you have to accept that teacher has not taught properly. The teacher has not correctly imparted his knowledge. And Shankara says something very nice over here. The teacher who teaches in a manner where the student does not understand, and the teacher says that, my teaching is over, he has not taught the Vidya fully, and he will be born as what? As a Brahma Rakshasa. Shankara says he will be born as a Brahma Rakshasa. And what does the Brahma Rakshasa do? He is doomed to haunt schools and colleges and gurukulas in his next life. Okay, so I don't want to be born a Brahma Rakshasa. So I will teach you until you have understood. So basically, it's a direction to the teacher that teach all that you know. Don't hold anything back, right? Because only when you have understood, only when the student has understood exactly what the teacher wants to say fully, then only can you convey that. Then only can you become a teacher. Otherwise, the sampradaya is polluted. So with this, we'll stop for today. Any questions?
Yes, Raviji.
Yes, Mr.
Okay, first, the answer to that question that all knowledge culminates in Brahma Vidya, it is 4th chapter 33rd verse, Sarva Karma Khilam Partha Jnanai Pariksamapyate.
Very good, yeah.
And I have one question also. So when you were talking about Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, you said that either for Brahma Vidya, either you appreciate the knowledge in totality or not at all. So basically, partial knowledge is not an option.
It's not an option at all.
But what about the state of Nididhyasanam, where
No. Okay, a very good question. Okay, now remember one thing, that all of you all at today's date, You all have been through Tattva Bodha. You all have been through Bhagavad Gita also, right? And some of you have been through some other Upanishads also. So the Shravanam portion is complete. Do you know that you are Brahman?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
but not with the connection.
No. My question is simple. Do you know that you are Brahman? You know. So
Yes.
the knowledge is very simple. Do you know that you are Brahman or do you not know that you are Brahman? So either you know you are Brahman or you don't know you are Brahman. So either you appreciate it fully or you don't appreciate it at all. The Nididhyasanam portion is for getting rid of Viparita Bhavana. Remember that at this point, let me also say that when you know that you are Brahman, you are Jivan Mukta. Okay. Do I get the benefit of that knowledge in terms of what is my FIR disturbance? That is being indicated, that is being addressed by Nididhyasana. If I know I am Brahman, the knowledge is complete. That is Brahma Vidya. So don't confuse two things. One is the knowledge that you are Brahman, and of course it's undisputed knowledge. Okay, like knowledge without doubts. Your Shravanam and Mananam is over. If you think, or when you say, I am Brahman, if your mind sort of sits in one corner and laughs at you, then the knowledge is not complete. There is still doubt. So when you tell yourself, I am Brahman, is it complete and absolutely confident? If that is so, your Brahma Vidya is complete. The addressing of your samskaras, your Viparita Bhavanas, your habitual thinking patterns, that is being addressed by Nididhyasanam. That is for making your life comfortable. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are Brahman. If your mind is disturbed all the time, does it shake your confidence that you are Brahman? That is what you should ask yourself. If it shakes, if the disturbance of the mind shakes my confidence that I am Brahman, then I need more mananam. Any question?
I've got it, but I need to think more. This is just like the Nididhyasanam situation. Got it, but need to think more.
Okay. So thank you for your patience. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om
Thank you
Namah
for your
Shivaya.
patience.
Thank you.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you, Acharya.